Hi there. So, my name is Ben. I directed a movie Girlfriend. This is my commentary, and I just thought it'd be a fun way to give you guys some additional insights about the making of movie Girlfriend. So, I guess the good place to start would be back in fall of 2016. Vince Riley and I got together, deciding that we wanted to collaborate with each other and make films. So, what we did was we had these phases in mind, where phase one, we would all be the creative head of our own films and write and direct our films. And for phase one, this was my film that I did. And we shot this in early January. And one of the things I remember was that I had the script finished a few weeks before we filmed. I think we filmed on like the 4th or 5th of January. And I gave Riley kind of a difficult job in a way because I'd given him this very wordy script, like all the stuff that he's doing right now for the introduction and setup. There's a lot of talking. So I had the script done a few weeks before we filmed, but when I sent it to him, he was busy with work, and then the craziness of the Christmas holidays came by. So by the time we got to filming, he was just really struggling to try and remember all of his lines word for word, because I'm definitely, you can ask Vincent Riley, I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to how my words are delivered, right? Because if they say a different word than what's on the script, if it doesn't sound better, I might ask them, oh, can you please say it the other way? So on top of just trying to get through a take and saying your lines correctly, also having to say them word for word was also a challenge. But Riley pulled through. I knew he would, and he was a good sport about it. So yeah, this idea was just a fun idea that I came up with about, like a movie about movies, right? Because there's that kind of, small genre of movies that are specifically about filmmaking or the film culture or whatnot. And I thought this would be my way of paying tribute to all these films that I love by having this guy interrogate these poor women about all these movie facts and movie questions and whatnot. So this first girl here is played by my friend Carol. I don't know if I'd ever seen her act in anything before. I might have once, but for some reason I just got this inkling that, hey, Carol might be interested in acting in this film, because we needed three girls. So besides my wife, I needed to find two other women to help me out with these roles, and Carol was one of them, and she did a great job here. She has a difficult job because she was given the room versus the room joke, right? So that confusion of Room is the movie with Brie Larson where she won her Oscar, and The Room is the movie that the Disaster Artist is based off of. The Oh Hi Mark, the terrible movie. Which, if you're looking for a unique experience, watch that movie. But as I realized, I gave Carol this joke, and I guess because a lot of people, I guess, either didn't have enough context, or it's just one of those things that people kind of missed what I was getting at. It's one of the jokes that when I show this movie to groups of people, that's the one joke that I thought was so funny, but people don't laugh that often. But Carol still did the best she could with the material that she was given, which was written by me. The next girl here is played by Jamie, my good friend Jamie from years ago. Jamie's fantastic. She's a wonderful actress. We met, I think, when we were doing some sort of stage play in high school, and from there I knew that she could handle dramatic performances, handle comedic performances like in this movie. She is so funny. There were so many things that she did where really she didn't need much direction from me, like that little like wiggle she's doing. It's just like I didn't tell her to do that. She came up with that. So her performance, I guess I could say, in this movie was I just let her loose and see what happened, and I was laughing a lot of the time. So I think she did a really great job. And of course, here she is getting movie facts confused and not knowing that black and white movies exist and all that. And yeah, I think she just gave such a great comedic performance here, because for one, she didn't need that much direction, and I guess the way I kind of set up her character and the way that she approached it, every time I show this to a group of people, everyone's always laughing at her just because of how crazy, for lack of a better word, she is. Uh, but it's fun. It was really fun. It was really fun to have her here for this movie. Yeah, and of course the whole joke about she didn't know there are movies made in black and white, which I don't know how
Okay,
that's a
like
thing,
I was
but
actually concerned there.
it was a thing for her. No, this joke right here, where Riley looks at the camera and then Jamie comes in, does that, and moves away. That was an idea I had early on in the screenwriting process. And for me, I just thought like, oh, that would be so funny visually to show the audience that I'm so satisfied that whenever I show this movie to a group of people, that people, if there's one moment without fail that makes people laugh, it's that moment of Riley looking at the camera and Jamie kind of popping in and going hi, I guess because it's kind of unexpected. And yeah, it's good. As I'm sure any director who's made a comedy film knows, one of the biggest struggles we have is just trying to figure out all of these jokes that we have. Like, are they going to be as funny as we think they are? Because I can come up with a lot of ideas that I find are hilarious, and then I can show them to a group of 15 people, and they may rarely be laughing, meaning that something was off about the idea or the jokes or the performances or whatnot. And as a director, you kind of feel responsible, right? So, yeah, it's a tricky thing that we have to figure out. But I think for this film, given the time that we had with it, there are enough laughs to make it at least somewhat funny. And here's Riley realizing the error of his ways. He's like, "Whoa, what am I doing?" But of course, as we know in movies, we have the pattern of threes, two to establish a pattern, and the third to break it. And as you can see off to the right, got some mail from our table, just some extra stuff there which we were trying to move out of the way. Because that's the funny thing, when you film in someone's home, if you don't have someone specifically working as art department, all sorts of extra stuff can just be hanging out in the background that you see. But at least the movie collection that we see to the left of Riley was always intentional. And here's the third lady, this girl that, I know vaguely well. Oh, right, yeah, Kayla, my wife, haha. So, yeah, I once again, I don't know if I'd ever seen Kayla act in anything, but I guess given the fact that the movie buff character was an extension of myself, I knew that I wanted the third girl to be an extension of Kayla, of the sweet, charming, funny side of her, and also the fact, too, that she's also, like me, a nerd, right? So I thought, yeah, if there's anyone that's going to be the girl to make this film work, that it would have to be Kayla. And once again, yeah, I think she did a great job. I love the back and forth coming up here. I think it's really funny. And the funny thing too, of course, is that I'm sure you can imagine that the answers that Kayla gives, the correct answers for all these questions that Riley has for her, are basically my answers if someone were to ever ask me these questions. Hence why she's such a hit with him, because she answers everything correctly. Like all of these questions coming up soon about Alien, right? Best horror movie, best film directed by Ridley Scott, and all that would easily be Alien in my humble opinion. And then we get this one that it's like, oh, it's not Alien, it's gotta add the S. It's Aliens, 1986. On this moment's really funny too. And then pushes glasses up to show how nerdy she is and how ready she is to tackle this. That was the funny thing too about this film was when you have a film where you only have two people talking at a time, right? What I really liked was just seeing the chemistry between each, or lack thereof, of each duo, right? So seeing that like Riley and Carol don't have that much chemistry, but that was an intentional thing, and then but at the end of the day, seeing how Riley would react to each girl differently, and how the girls react to Riley. And I think it was just a fun way to kind of show how each situation was different than the one before and the one from the last. And yeah, it was really enjoyable to kind of cut back and forth to see the reactions that they'd have. Like, for example, Kayla's reaction to Riley proposing that she be his movie girlfriend. And Riley's like, yes, I did it. So yeah, this was a fun film to make. It was also interesting. I'm sure, as you can see in a number of moments, how the way Riley acts, like he's ultimately doing like an impression of me, trying to figure out how I would react to certain situations. So that was kind of fun too. It was kind of like looking in a mirror, where in the mirror it was someone who was taller and more muscular than I was, but acting the same way that I did. So that was fun. Other than that, thanks so much for watching this, guys. I had a really good time just talking about the behind the scenes of this movie, and I'll leave you guys with the post-credits scene. So have a good day. Be sure to check out VBR Pictures on YouTube and check out our other short films, and I'll see you guys later.